All right, welcome again, folks, to another episode of Reflecting Him, where the rain is getting crazy out there. It's raining, it's hailing. I'm setting up my studio here, getting computers and lighting and all the microphones set up, and suddenly I just hear this pattering sound outside. And guess what? It's hailing. My rentals are gone, so no rentals for the weekend, but that's good. I can relax, create this episode, edit it a little bit, play with Justin, spend time with my wife, things that I really need to focus on. But anyway, what's going on, folks? How you doing? It's another holiday season upon us, right? Halloween's around the corner, then it's Thanksgiving, then it's Christmas, then it's all these wonderful lights and ceremonies and rituals and things that we do. And it's got me thinking, right? Like everything else in life. Ruben's a thinker. You guys already know that about me. But what's especially standing out to me this time around, what am I, going to be 50 years old here, December 21st? Wow. Who would have thought I was going to be 50? A long time ago, thinking I was going to die because I was just acting very crazy. But anyway, I've got a new life. I've got a new wife. I've got a great career, right? A small platform from which I can encourage, motivate, challenge, and I guess offend some people. But I want to talk to you guys about something this Saturday. It's really nice outside, even though it's raining. But what's resonating with me right now, I've been noticing a lot of accidents, a lot of car wrecks. And it reminds me of a lesson that I gave the inmates at the Kyle unit a couple of years ago when I was a drug counselor there at the unit. And I think what I want to do is make a little episode about it, right? It'll be informal, nothing professionally produced, obviously. But I want to share some points that I'll put across the screen here as I read them off my paper. But I think it's important to understand that a lot of the wrecks, right? Car crashes, life crashes that we get into are due in large part to things that we really aren't paying attention to. So if I can title today's episode anything, it would be 5 ways we get into wrecks. Okay? 5 ways we get into wrecks. So let's think about that. You're driving down the highway, you're driving down, any street, whether you're going to work, church, school, H-E-B, Target, Walmart, wherever you're going, you're always going to see some type of accident. You yourself may have been in a car accident. And so this is a common occurrence. It's unfortunate. People get hurt, people die, right? But every time I see an accident, I start thinking. Let me clear my throat real quick, folks. I start thinking, what happened, right? Whether it's this 18-wheeler accident we had, I think it was up in Ohio by this illegal Indian immigrant who literally was allegedly under the influence and just drove right into, some cars and people. It was fatal. People got hurt. People got killed. But I think what's going on? Why are accidents like that really happening? And then again, the thinker that I am, I begin to take those literal reasons for why people get in car accidents, and I want to bring them home and make them teachable moments. So, for lack of a better way of saying it, what I want to do is literally take the car accident analogy and bring it home so you and I can learn some things that I think are very important for us to learn. So, the first point, 5 ways we get into wrecks, right? And on the road and in life, one of the first things that get us into wrecks. I'll get my microphone straight here. One of the first things that gets us into wrecks is distracted driving, right? It's my first point. Distracted driving. Whether you're on your phone texting, you're eating, you're plugging something in, or you're turning to get mad at your son or your daughter, like I do quite often. You're not paying attention. You're distracted, and then you get a fender bender. You hit someone. Unfortunately, it happens, right? But in a metaphorical sense, and I had to write some key points down, but I think sometimes we're too busy in life and we get into wrecks. I think sometimes also we're multitasking. We've got what can be considered a digital overload. We're just always online, scrolling, producing content, right? We've got a lot of things going on in our lives and we're distracted. And it's in being distracted that we lose focus. We lose focus of what's important. Kind of reminds me of the story of Martha and Mary, where Jesus literally tells Martha, let me look it up real quick, right? Jesus is walking down and he enters a house and he's going to tell them some stories and some parables and, be Jesus. It says here, and Jesus answered and said to Martha, or after Martha was telling Jesus, man, tell people to help me. Tell my sister to help me. He tells her, Martha, Martha, you are worried and troubled about many things. That's distraction, right? Martha was distracted. And I think a lot of times you and I can get so wrapped up in minutia. We can get so wrapped up in things that really don't matter, and we get in wrecks, right? So number one, distracted driving, like a lack of focus. So the key point, where your attention goes, your life follows. Where your attention goes, your life follows. It's a magnifying glass. Whatever you focus on, whether it's a distraction or not, that's where you're going to go. So keep that in mind, okay? Number two, another reason how we get into wrecks is we ignore warning signs, which are basically red flags, right? Warning signs in a literal sense. You have here, check your engine light in your car, weird noises, your tires acting weird. You might have a blowout because you didn't pay attention. You were ignoring the literal warning signs of your vehicle. So what does that mean for us in a metaphorical sense, in a relational sense? Well, check it out. Burnout, anxiety, toxic relationships, dysfunctional thinking patterns. So if I'm not paying attention to the warning signs, listen, God has given us a conscience. What I would always tell the guys there at the unit is that the conscience is like an alarm system, right? In a car or in a home. They're designed to secure a home or vehicle. And if someone breaks into the home, for example, the alarm goes off. So the alarm going off is pointing to an intruder. The alarm going off is signaling that something's not right. And if we're not paying attention to that, if we're ignoring that warning sign, then we're going to get in a wreck, right? For example, burnout, anxiety. So if you find yourself burnt out, if you find yourself just constantly worrying about all kind of things, those are warning signs. Those are red flags. You need to slow down, pull over before you literally get in a wreck. What's the key point for that one? God gives us signs before he gives us consequences, so pay attention. All right? God gives us signs before he gives us consequences. And I think it's God's mercy at work. He knows how to get our attention before it's too late. Unfortunately, for some of us, we do wait till it's too late and we get in a very, very horrible wreck. All right? Number three, reckless driving, which basically in a metaphorical sense means we're living without boundaries. Okay, can you imagine a reckless driver just switching lanes, driving fast? He's all over the place. He or she is obviously going to probably get in a car accident. Someone's going to get hurt. What I put here in life is sometimes we're overcommitted. We're not resting. We know no limits. We just say yes to everything. We have no boundaries. So just as the person who is recklessly driving, just switching lanes, not using the blinker, just all over the place, that can be you and me. We can be recklessly driving in our lives in this sense. We don't know who we are, what we're supposed to be doing, where we're supposed to be going. We're just switching lanes, jumping on this trend, jumping on that fad, wearing this, going here, sound like we're just all over the place. And when we're all over the place, guess what we're not doing? We're not secure. We're not settled. We're not safe. And when we're not safe, we recklessly endanger not only ourselves, but other people. What's the key point? Boundaries protect you. They're not punishment, they're wisdom. You know, when I was raising Ava, before she went off to live with her dad, I would always tell her that rules are not restrictive. Rules are protective. And I want you as an adult to think about that. Rules are not restrictive. Rules are designed in a general sense to protect people, whether it's the speed limit, the Constitution, things we read in the Word of God, rules are designed to protect, not restrict. So understand that boundaries protect you. They don't punish you. The fourth thing, rubbernecking, right? Everybody, I do it, you do it. Everyone rubbernecks. There's this car accident, and I've seen this. I'm going to work down 35, and I'm trying to get to work before I get late, and there's just, man, bumper to bumper. What happened? And you've seen this, right? Where you've got this traffic, and when you finally get to where the accident is at, it's not even on your lane. It's over there. What everyone's doing is they're rubbernecking. They're looking and slowing down traffic. Rubbernecking is being nosy, right? Ooh, what happened? And you're looking, and then bam, you get in a car accident. Getting stuck in other people's wrecks. Look, it's tempting. I get it. It's tasty. It's enticing. Ooh, so-and-so got in trouble. Ooh, so-and-so got arrested. Ooh, so-and-so got a divorce. Ooh, so-and-so got caught cheating. And there we go. We're all over the place trying to get up in other people's businesses, rubbernecking, and then getting in a wreck. Obsessing over others' dramas, failure, success, comparison, gossip, envy, all that crazy stuff. Look, folks. Comparison is very, very bad. I think in my personal life, one of the most significant aspects of my own failures, my own depressions, my own setbacks is because I'm too busy trying to compare myself to the next person. I see so-and-so doing this, and I should be doing that too. Why am I not doing it? Why have I not achieved that? I see a minister or ministry or a preacher or a teacher accomplishing certain things. A prison ministry dude who got out, and he's got this successful ex-felon ministry reaching out. Why aren't I successful like that? And it's when I begin to compare myself to other people that I set myself up for a downfall. So we need to not do that, right? We need to not rubberneck and try to get up in other people's business. The key point for this one is you can't drive your life while staring at someone else's. You cannot drive your life while staring at someone else's. It's very, very simple. If I'm too busy looking at my neighbor's grass and how green it is, then I'm never going to have time to water my own grass. All right. Next point. This is one of my favorite ones right here, by the way. Looking too long in the rear view mirror. It was the year 1998, right? And I'm driving up, I think it was Military Drive towards Nogalitos in San Antonio, there in the south side. And I was looking at the rearview mirror, something going on behind me, and I'm driving and I'm looking at the rearview mirror, and I was looking a little bit too long. Boom. I hit the car right in front of me. Man, thankfully it was a little minor fender bender, but here I am 25, 30, 35 years later or whatever. And I think, wow, man, there's a lesson in that. If I'm looking too much into the rearview mirror of life, looking to the past, how I didn't make this, how I didn't do that, why this and why that. And if I keep doing that, looking in the rearview mirror of my life, I'm never going to be looking forward, and I'm going to get in a wreck. Look what I put here. Rearview mirrors are for glancing, man, not for staring. Rearview mirrors are for glancing, not for staring. We have these rearview mirrors in our cars to give us awareness of what's going on around us so we can be defensive drivers. But can you imagine staring for about one long minute into the rearview mirror? You're gonna hit somebody, right? So what's the life application? Regret, shame, nostalgia. We're constantly revisiting things we can't change, trying to. Now here's what's crazy. When we're too busy looking at the past, essentially what we're trying to do is we're trying to change it. And that's impossible. You can't change the past. I can't change the past. Paul tells us in Philippians very, very clearly. And I love this particular letter, right? The book of Philippians is one of my favorite books in the Bible, not only because it's short, but it's loaded. It's loaded with nuggets, right? Look what he says here, right? Paul says, Not that I have already attained or am already perfected, but I press on that I may lay hold of that for which Christ Jesus has also laid hold of me. And later on in verse 15, we're in chapter 3, by the way, Philippians. He says, therefore, let us, as many as are of a mature mind, have this mind. So Paul's saying, well, maturity looks forward. Immaturity, people who are hurt, people who are controlled by the past, keep looking in the back. So don't do that, right? This looking too long in the rearview mirror point, I think, hurts more people than the rest. Because all of us have failed. All of us have had divorces, setbacks. We've lost loved ones. We've been incarcerated. So many things have happened. We're too busy back there to live a good life up there. Key point, learn from the past. Don't live in it. So that's going to conclude these quick little lessons that I wanted to jump on and share with you on this Saturday while it's raining and hailing outside. There's many ways that you and I can get in wrecks, right? Again, 5 ways we get into wrecks on the road and in life. And I want you to think about that. I want you to think about, number 1, are you a distracted driver? Do you lack focus? Number 2, are you ignoring warning signs and the red flags in your life? Number 3, are you a reckless driver living without boundaries? Number 4, are you a rubbernecker, right? You're always getting stuck in other people's businesses. Or number 5, are you looking too long in the rearview mirror of your life that you can't enjoy today? Guys, God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. Like, share, comment, share these videos, spread them out, man. God is good. God is great. And even though it's raining, we know that the rain is always producing something good in our lives. Guys, God bless you. We'll see you on the next one.